The following podcast may contain spoilers.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Treading the Path of the Heavens, the show where we tell you about Asian literature.
Oh yeah.
I'm your host, Jonathan Kinney. I'm joined by my co-hosts.
I'm Richard.
Hey, I'm Bill.
I don't think I'm a co-host. I think I might be a perennial guest. I think I just might be the permanent guest.
You're the guy in the group of people who read way too much who reads nothing at all.
I'm Seth, by the way.
Wait, are you the Combs then? Would that make you Combs? Are you Combs?
Yeah. No?
He can't even spell Combs. He can't read.
I cannot read.
Yeah, it has
it's a birth
seemed
effect.
Yep.
incapable.
It's not that I don't want to.
You just forgot how?
Yep, it's just that I forget how to read. I look at the letters and they go all squiggly wiggly and I'm like, what?
He gets temporary amnesia every time he looks at letters. It's a terrible curse.
He just stumbles into media. He's just like, I'll click this picture.
This picture looks cool.
All right. I love you guys, but I'm excited about this one. This week we are talking about Desolate Era, another novel by our one of my favorite authors, I Eat Tomatoes.
He does eat those tomatoes.
It sounds like
He's
he
super
eats
fun.
tomatoes.
He's such a fun writer. Such a fun writer.
And so many people like get no tomatoes, but like he.
So like
He eats those tomatoes.
just out of curiosity, what do you think draws you to this guy's work in particular? Because like this will be what, the second that we've mentioned on this show?
we did Coiling Dragon and went way over our normal time limit because we just got way too exuberant about it.
Because I was reading that. I was starting to read that in the middle of that. And then I finished it. And then guess what, guys? Guess what? For once, in a book that he wanted to start, Kenny wanted to start, I'm ahead of him.
Yeah, I spent like 2 weeks basically without internet. So Richard is caught up to date and I'm like half a month behind.
I still say stellar transformations should count. I'm just throwing that out there.
But anyway, Desolate Era is a book that is, I'm pretty sure it's completed. Well, no, I think it's actually,
No, it's
I Eat Tomatoes' current project.
no, it's done.
Yeah, it's done. It's just not fully translated.
It's not fully translated. He's working on a new project that's super popular right now. It's just no one's translating it to English yet.
That's fair.
Well, I'm looking forward to that because I feel like it might be in like the biological.
Apparently, it's people's most favorite one. It's instead of a swordsman, it's a guy who uses a spear, and it's amazing.
Spears are so good at Chinese books. But yeah, currently it is also like Coiling Dragon being translated by Rin Wuxing or RWX on Wuxia World. There are currently 29 books translated.
30 now.
Yeah, he's
in the middle
moved
of
on.
30.
He's on to 30.
That's a lot of books.
29 is the last one that's been completed.
Yeah.
And it starts on the story of a little boy on Earth, and he had a terminal illness.
Oh, poor Jing.
But he was really smart. Like, he spent his entire life in the hospital, and instead of, like, moping and doing, he spent all of his time, like, studying and figuring out how
Playing
to...
the stock market.
Playing the stock market.
Being the best.
It feels like a lot of these books start with somebody in one place and then end up in another place pretty much immediately.
Yeah, it's a pretty common theme in these. I think that's because Taoism deals with a lot with the concept of reincarnation. So like, it's just that author's take on reincarnation. I would kind of assume,
Okay.
But it developed into kind of a trope.
All right.
And boy, do they... Okay, so like, if you've read other I Eat Tomato stuff, yeah, this typical like genre where there's like Taoist themes for the superpowers. But boy, do they go heavy on the Taoist themes in this.
Oh yeah, this is I Eat Tomatoes' like traditional genre novel. Like this is the one where it is Taoism all the way. It's Taoist titles, Taoist mentalities, actual Taoist magic.
You can read it while listening to a Spangle album, and it makes perfect sense.
Nice.
Like after the boy, not only did he build up a bunch of like a lot of good karmic things he could build up in his short life, which let him live longer. Because apparently by living well and building up good karmic things, you live longer. It increases your life. But they get there and like they openly show like mythologic myths and religious people and religious stories and these great heroic epics characters just exist.
Yeah,
They're just are
around.
there. The six paths of reincarnation are there.
Yeah.
All of the
Because spoilers. Well, spoilers. Not spoilers, really. Jining dies pretty soon to his terminal illness, but he gave all of his money to like make a donation to like save all these people, and like he got all of this karma. So when he dies and he goes to the six paths of reincarnation, and like someone like pulls him out of the long queue and is like, "Oh, come with me. You lived a cool life." And
also somebody super badass wants to meet you.
Oh, dude. He meets this dude named what? Lord Kui? Lord Sui?
yeah, he's one of the traditional judges of death
Yeah.
in Chinese mythology.
Holds the keys to the book of life and death.
Nice. Gotta keep that book
Which
locked.
he literally, I'm pretty sure, shows to Jining. He's like,
Yeah.
look at all this
Yeah.
cool stuff in the Book of Life and Death. It's cool. You're
You
about
were-
to drink the amnesia elixir. You won't remember
You
this
were supposed
shit.
to die like 3 years before you actually died. Good work.
Yeah,
I
man,
would
good
love
job.
to see this either animated or like put it to like movie. Like this is the one I want to see live at like
And
Something
the
made out.
first badass of the story gets introduced. Young Mother Nuwa. Who's just
Mother
better
Nuwa.
than everyone.
Yeah, she basically just like, there was a crisis in the past, and it was resolved by her becoming more awesome than the crisis.
Nice.
Master of 108,000 dows.
That's
Humans.
a lot of dows.
Yeah, that's 99 and then like +1, so it's like an ascension over. It's like a Taoist principle of like 9 becoming 1. So this is not 9 becoming 1. This is 9 surpassing 1 because it's 108.
Insane.
Like there's I love the I don't want to spoil it because you need to read it and it's great. But I'm just saying, Mother Nuwa, for the first like a lot of books,
It's literally just a picture.
just the best. Like
Yeah, it's like the 22, 23 books.
yeah, she's just the best. There's nothing better than her
Nice.
for most of the story.
Yeah. So at the very beginning of the book, Jining, our main character, like looks up at a picture, and most people can't even like recognize that this picture exists. It's just too profound. Like they just see it, and their brain is like, nope, don't look at that.
I'm gonna die.
Sure.
And so like he sees it, and he actually like memorizes it because it's like that impressive of a picture. And like focusing on this is like such a pure and doubt. Like she's mastered so many dows that just being able to see her image improves your soul.
It cultivates you.
Incredible.
Your mind and your soul. Just visualizing Mother Nuwa, the creator of humanity.
So basically, the judge like comes, like he had like left for like 2 seconds, and then he comes back and he's like, "I've got this really cool soul nurse." Oh God, you could see the Nua painting, can't you?
Well, this is garbage.
I was gonna give you this
I was gonna give you this picture of Buddha, but like this
to
is
help
garbage.
you cultivate in your next life, but you know what? I'm gonna put this in your soul.
And I do mean that because like Buddha, like Tathagata Buddha is a character that exists and does things in the
Just
plot
a
of the
person.
story.
Just a dude, huh?
Just an
Yeah.
awesome dude.
Ho Yi, he's a character.
Just totally just an awesome guy.
Lu Dongben, like all of these characters.
Just a badass.
I very much like the idea of a bunch of fictional characters coexisting in one place.
Yeah, it turns out the reason we know about them is because disciples of them from like the higher planes just came to Earth to like visit like a vacation home, and they would spread stories about these actual mythical figures that exist in the higher realms.
That's very cool.
And you know, like we don't know about this because Earth is in a locked reincarnation cycle.
Yeah. We do have the Buddhist path and access to everything else, but
But anyway, so this guy rises above Jining. He gets to go on the six paths of reincarnation. He's going to get put in the like, you're an awesome motherfucker. You're going to start out awesome, and you're going to continue to be awesome through your entire life path.
what was it? A Deva?
The Deva realm.
Yeah,
You're
Deva
going to get
realm.
thrown in like the best of the 6 realms.
Well, he was
basically.
started at like as a Xantian life form and then go up.
Nice.
So like, it's this awesome thing, but cool things happen, and by cool things I mean terrible, awful things happen. Someone literally attacks the 6 paths of reincarnation, which gives you an idea of like the power level of
Yeah, that seems
The
like
future.
some World Foundation-y shit.
yeah, exactly. Like
This is the
people
fun
that could
of
literally
all the souls.
Like people that literally shape how the heavens work and reincarnation and life and death work. And people are attacking this.
They have to defend themselves.
That said, Jining, not even skipping a beat, just makes a mad dash.
Because he's like, I feel like I'm going to die if I stay here. And boy, was he right. Because the people's true souls were getting destroyed.
Yeah.
That seems like a thing that might not happen all the time.
Yeah, but here's the fun part. Jining, like before you go into the 6 paths, you're supposed to like drink this Granny Ming's elixir.
Yeah, to erase your memories.
Yeah, you're right. And then it erases your memories, and then you like stumble towards the correct path and fall in. They were gonna like guide him into the Deva realm, but this happens as he's supposed to be drinking the elixir, and so like he just like looks around and like runs into the mortal path because he's like, well, I want to remember my memories,
and I want to be a human.
Yeah, I want to do this again. This is
but
fun.
as a human, so he wakes up in
Stillwater Commandery?
Yeah, the Stillwater Commandery.
Oh my god.
The smallest
and like
of the small.
So they're not though. They're not weak. It's just not good. Like okay, the way they set it up is he's born into like lesser nobility of like dudes that run this whole area. Every other clan gotta bow down to them in this area. It's goblin.
Sure, that sounds like standard nobility.
Yeah. Because he had good karmic luck still. Keep that in mind. So even if he goes to the mortal path, he's still going to get a ball and thing on the mortal path. So he is literally aware because he has his memories from the past
As
life.
a baby.
As a baby. So like in the womb, he's like listening and learning the language. He like comes out basically able to speak and he's like, give me magical meat. And he just like fucking eats it up.
Jesus Christ.
By the way,
if my baby came out demanding magical meat, I'd shit myself.
Keep in mind, his parents are ridiculous. His parents are for the time in the book, his parents are ridiculous. Untouchable in this area. Peerless in this area.
Sure.
And
like his dad's a cripple and still one of the strongest people.
And one of the most powerful swordsmen. And they're going out and they're killing dire monsters.
Those are just worse versions of regular monsters.
Turning them, these are not naturally magic. They're part of fiend gods. Like fiend gods are in their history and shit.
Gotcha.
So I guess we do have to
eating that meat.
To explain what a fiend god is, it's like if you just tempered your they're actual beings that were born at the beginning of time.
They were just born from the primordial chaos, or from or they can be birthed from the elements, like created by the elements to create their bodies, so their body's naturally perfect to cultivate.
But they suck at training. It's their downside.
It takes them too long because humans have naturally short lives, and the heavens don't want you to gain immortality, so you train faster, but life is harder for you later.
But you pick up them good stuff.
The meat has so much caloric intake in it, one bite will fill you up for days.
Nice.
And he's just like eating like Goku-sized plates.
Incredible.
Of all this meat as like a baby. And he's like the next scene is like him at like 2 years old. He already knows how to read and write, and he's like practicing sword fighting and trying to learn like feet techniques to move quickly. Like,
I mean, yeah, as you would. I would hope you would. And
then his parents are just like, guess what? I'm a badass, and your grandfather is a super badass here. So, and you're going to be the best. So we're going to get you all of our training techniques.
So, like, the first part of the story, like, in terms of traditional genre, is not, like, the most interesting. Jining is kind of, like, he has this long period of, like, childhood where he's just kind of, like, happy to be alive and have parents.
Oh, and walk. He's really happy about walking.
Yeah, because, like, he lived 13 years as a cripple. Like, that was his whole life. Like, in a hospital bed.
Yeah.
But, like, you realize, like, at first when I started this, I didn't like it. Because, like, I went from loving Lindley and growing up with Lindley and Lindley being a person to Jining starting off, and it's more like the world around him is so much more interesting than Jining is.
Right.
But the beauty of this is I didn't realize the scale of this novel. Like, you were Jining so long, and Jining you realize Jining's a reincarnation. People think he's a reincarnated immortal or whatever.
Because
but
he's
no.
Just that talented.
He's a reincarnated kid who never had the chance to live life, so he doesn't have enough life experience to be interesting. So he gains his life experience throughout your story. So, like, later where I'm at, like, book 30, Jining is like hella interesting. Jining has faults. Jining isn't perfect. Jining has limits. He knows what he can and cannot do, what he wants. Like, you realize you grow with the book as Jining builds the foundation of his Dao heart and his way and finding out what he wants to be.
Yeah, and this dude just loves the sword.
Dude, man, like, when they talk about Dao heart and the, like, what you need to be so resolute that nothing stands in your way, you will have what you must have. Like,
and if you go against your Dao heart, it destroys your cultivation.
Like,
yeah, so like you could say you're like in a fight and it's up against a thing that like you've got like a 10% chance of winning. There's a 90% chance this guy's going to murder you.
Sure.
And if your heart's saying like I need to beat this guy,
you have to
fight him. If you don't, you may become a genius and you may have great things, but you're never going to get to the top.
Your path
that ends your path.
I see.
Because it like puts a wrinkle in your Dao heart. And like this is the story of the guy that never lets down his Dao heart.
He
never lets the hood down.
He didn't have a Dao heart, and then he gets one, and then he's like, "Yeah, let's run with this. Let's go.
Let's continue this forward."
And boy, I eat tomatoes, hate first love, but man, does he love love. His main characters hold on so deep to love.
Yeah. But
It's
just not the first
insane. Just not the first one.
Except in Stellar Transformations.
The second
story
one.
for another day.
Boy, is it. Oh.
But no, like, to answer your question at the beginning, why do I love I Eat Tomatoes? It's because his worlds are incredibly vivid. Like, the way he writes things, and maybe it is also credit to Rin, the translator, because I know he works with the authors a lot to, like, make things more palatable for Western readers.
Sure.
And he's capable of conveying visually. You can see the way he explains formations and DAOs and paths.
Yeah, like there's
combat.
Not even
there's
that.
a war that happens at a certain point in this book, and like we see these literal scenes of like 30,000 or 100,000 of these cultivators that at the beginning of the book were like, yeah, it's like a 1 in 10 million shot. Like no one achieves that. And we see now these people as cannon fodder. And like they're literally like linking together and like forming the arms and legs of these like giant mythical beasts.
It's like
trying to fight
Pacific
each
Rim,
other.
except gods are fighting.
Except it's dudes. It's just stacked up dudes.
No,
Well,
except
it's not
just
really like stacked up dudes so much as like them
gods.
linking their energy and actually forming the real body of these mythical beasts.
So, like,
with energy.
the grandness of scale, like, the Grand Xia world is gargantuan.
Yeah, it is billions and billions of miles wide. Maps don't have edges to them. Like, they don't... There's no maps of the world because it's irrelevant. Like, you could travel that far.
But then it hits you. Once the scale is so huge and the time is so ridiculous in this, you realize that the Grand Xia world is irrelevant. It's like tiny. It's like so minuscule.
It's one world in a world with, like, thousands of worlds the same size. It just happens to have a bit more karmic luck than the others. That's the only reason it's significant.
It's not even really that important.
It just has lucky people.
It's just one of the thousands of worlds underneath one Dao Father, and Dao Fathers are irrelevant.
Yeah.
I mean, yes.
I mean, they're like the pawns, or maybe like the pawns in the actual chess game that's happening in this book.
Jesus.
And that's what we're saying. Like, you get to travel through this entire world, and like, honestly, Jining might as well be the minecart that you're riding on the railroads of this story. Although, like Richard said, he's become a fascinating character by now through all the experiences. It's just a chance to see all the inventive ideas that this guy created.
And the vastness of time is so long in this too, where like beings measure time in chaos cycles. And our main character, who has lived hundreds of thousands of times longer than the entire storyline of Lindley Beirut from Coiling Dragon, is 1% of a chaos cycle, and characters can live hundreds of thousands of chaos cycles.
That is a lot.
Yeah, no, people like...
And I will say that is incredibly stellar transformations. Like, that just hits me right home. But like, because like that was the entire point. That was the entire point of the whole story, was like finding the right chaos cycle. So like, I love when it gets to that scale. Like, it's like in Doctor Strange, where they had like going through his mind as his mind was ever expanding, trying to understand magic.
Yeah.
Or like when he goes to Dormammu's realm, or like
it's the scale of this book is just incredible. It's like Gurren Lagann. Like it just keeps growing and growing and growing and getting cooler and more interesting as it goes along because there's just more layers.
By the way, a chaos cycle is enough time for a chaos world to be naturally born and then die. Our world, the three realms, the chaos world we on, hasn't been alive long enough to even amount to a chaos cycle. And by the time a chaos cycle goes, everything that is creation will blink out of existence and another one will form. And things have been alive for many hundreds of thousands of chaos cycles, and they look. It's so vast. It makes you feel so. The main character feels so powerful, but so weak at all times. Like you legitimately feel both. You feel everything is trivial around Jining, but Jining can also die at any point.
He's just one wrong step away from pissing off one eternal emperor or one Zountian life form at the beginning of the thing. Like, it's always this struggle against the next step. And, like, he has a goal, like all of Aight Tamando's characters, to get to the peak of power. Usually for a specific reason.
Mm-hmm.
In this case,
love.
Yeah, love, basically. Long story short.
I don't know that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you'll get to it. And then you'll be like, man, that's crazy.
But like it's just an incredible story. Like you can just see the things that happen. It's so vivid. You have he describes him cutting a sword or like moving it like water, and you can just picture this image of it silently slow like hitting and just like him moving a sword slowly across in front of him and blocking thousands of attacks.
Dude,
like just perfectly.
I'm not gonna lie. I still love the water and fire lotus formation that he makes like early on.
It's been so long.
Like he like fuses two opposite elemental keys into a technique where he just uses two lotus flowers to grind enemies.
He does use awesome. That. Yeah, it's awesome, and it's like it is constantly these new vivid techniques. It is constantly the bigger, better, stronger thing, because like he gets like a legacy at the beginning of the thing, and it's like this incredible thing. It's one of the like top 10 abilities in the entire three realms.
Star seizing hand.
And it literally just makes his hands like
hard enough to crush stars.
Nice.
Yeah. So like basically his grip on his sword is incredibly strong.
Never gonna knock that sword out of his hand.
Exactly. That's like his superpower.
Nice.
Until he gets to the point where he's like, I don't fucking need a sword. I'll just make fingers with my hands and just cut and kill everyone.
Sword fingers. And then that becomes like
also like watching Jining's Tao of the Sword is an incredible.
When he unlocks his first like Tao realm, when Tao realms are important, but when Tao realms were important, when he unlocks that, like I was so into it, like because he gets the Tao realm of his father, like when he really understands the what was it, the Rain Sutra.
The Rainwater Sutra?
The Rainwater Sutra. And he understands, he starts to get so in touch with the Tao of rainwater. So people started fearing drizzles.
Oh yeah.
It's raining. Oh God, it's coming.
Like he's got power now.
Yeah, he was a rain swordsman for a while. It was pretty great.
It was so good.
But no, like there's so many just awesome things. Like the college he ends up going to is called this Black-White College. They have this diagram that has like a bunch, all the different DAOs, like 3,600 like different DAOs, and they're all interlaid in a way that you can determine how they're linked together.
And they connect.
And it's like this one artifact is enough for this school to be like a special school within like billions and billions of miles that like no one can get into. It's very, very difficult. And then like we have like Jining's like legacy that he gets, where he like has a star, like his master, who was one of the like highest levels in this world, like had like this heavenly scene of like all this perfect Tao, and he just like
complete Taos, and he could just absorb it,
like absorb it, and like so he has all these advantages that almost no one knows about, and that's like the fun part is like this dichotomy of information between what we know about Jining and what the world doesn't know about Jining.
But you think Jining is special with this karmic gain he got with this legacy, and you realize everyone who's relevant, like they love to do this. They start doing it like a few books in when they start rallying heroes and peers of Jining, and they show things from their point of view. Like the woman, like during the tournament, the woman who's like indestructible, like people can't hurt her, or rallying the other different geniuses to rally up, and you realize every single one of these geniuses, and there's tons of them, has had equivalent or greater karmic gains than Jining.
Yeah, he's not like...
You're not special. These are just cultivators.
There's this tournament that happens all the time.
Yeah, but
people normally haven't gone into it. And then, like, they all start hearing in their subconscious, like, go to the tournament. And there's this scene of, like, all these people, some of which we know, some of which are completely new characters to us, in these, like, cool, imaginative scenarios. And they're all hearing their subconscious telling them that this is the tournament they need to go to and fight in.
That's pretty neat.
Like, so many just awesome scenes like that.
But I do need to interject. He is special though, because of time. Time is why he's special. He may not be like the height of power, but damn is he fast. He is scary fast.
Yeah, he's scary fast until you get further, because you're not to this point. You realize the speed of his training isn't even special. You realize he's actually extra average in his time frame. He just has the correct path.
I mean, yeah.
It's incredible.
Like, there's a part where there are people that are vastly different strengths, so like they can't duel in an arena. So what they do is they have this arena with golems that you can control purely with your understanding of the Tao. So you just sit on this platform and you have Tao debates by having these two golems powered by your understanding of how like swords work, or like how fire works, or how like the art of seduction works. Like, there are so many different Taos. There's one person who over a year or overnight became the master of the Tao of Inkwater. He was just so good at calligraphy that he like gained magical powers.
Hey,
that sounds incredible.
I've also been promised improvised weapon Tao.
I didn't say, like, I'm just saying that is a thing that would exist.
I'm just saying.
Keep waiting. Keep waiting, because there will be. I'm almost 100% certain there's a Tao Lord somewhere
He's just picking up bar stools.
Who's just picking up bar stools and murdering people. Because there's no wrong Tao, but there's levels to how strong your Tao is,
and
which makes merging into your Tao later to gain true eternity harder.
So yeah, the stronger you are as like a pre-eternal thing,
sure,
the harder it is to become an eternal thing. So most of the eternal things were jobbers when they were in the weaker things. They just picked like the easiest path so that they could become an eternal emperor.
And they become afraid of the people who created these powerful Taos, so they can get wrecked even though they have eternity. They can just get destroyed.
So the eternal people just keep also killing the people that are like,
you think Too Nice is an eternal emperor? I'm coming for you.
Delightful.
Like, and it's these like, he just has really cool ideas. The worlds that he builds are fascinating.
I do like good world building.
We also discovered that what we thought was eternity wasn't eternity.
It's just a bunch of chaos cycles.
It's just a bunch of chaos cycles.
Okay.
Feels like it.
Stack them up.
I mean,
but yeah, Desolate Era is a wild ride and has transformed many times. Like,
I'll say.
It changes.
It does. It's a different story every other couple books. Like,
it reaches bottlenecks in its own writing and its own storytelling, and then it breaks through those bottlenecks.
I have to wait for it to end to see where it goes. All right, because like where we are in the story, where Ren is translating at about book 30, would be the equivalent of the intro to the Infernal Realm arc of Coiling Dragon. So things are really starting to open up, and like we think we know stuff. And we've gotten taste of things that we might know later, and we realize we don't know shit, and it's great.
That's always the fun. That's the fun turn. Is when you're revealed to be a fool.
Yeah, like there was legitimately for the first 23 books a plot that was being woven throughout the entire 23 books. And like the entire journey, you didn't even know Jining was a part of it until he became important enough to be part of it.
That's very cool.
And so like you gain awareness of things as he gain. The more strength he gains, the more of the picture of this world you see. Because the more people, like the higher level people, trust him more and are willing to tell him more.
I have so much speculation I want to make about the book and what's going on now, since I'm still like at the edge of my seat. And I'm part of the good old
the F5 sect.
The F5 sect.
The refresh crew.
Yeah. It is intense what's going on, and there's so much mystery, and it's so rare to find a genre novel that can go this long and still have this much mystery.
Yeah, I'm super excited for where it's going, and I can't wait to catch up. Desolate Era is literally the cherry on my web novel reading. It's out of all the web novels, it's the one I saved for last.
Nice.
So like, it has been a great ride. I've been reading it since book 1, chapter 1, because he started it pretty shortly after he finished Boiling Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And I have not regretted keeping long.
That sounds like a hell of a book. I may actually read this one.
I mean, yeah, do it.
Yeah.
It's a fun one.
I definitely recommend people who want to get started in Desolate Era because it's so vast. Read like Coiling Dragon, finish it, prepare your body for this adventure.
You just said the two opposite things. Just to prepare you for this very long book, read this very long
Coiling Dragon
book.
isn't that long. I'm sorry. It is long, but it is not that long. Because I can like the same amount of time I put into Coiling Dragon, I put like twice that into this, and it's still not done.
Jesus, okay,
and it's real good, but like it's not a chore to read this much because it's so good. It's so easy to read. It's a page turner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No, as always, I highly recommend I Eat Tomatoes. Any of his books. I've read Stellar Transformations as well. It was an excellent read, even though you do have to go through like 13 different translators.
We're gonna have any of these episodes that end with "It's a terrible book. Don't fucking read it."
Yeah, totally.
Oh yeah. If we get the Japanese ones, I got a couple we can read that I can recommend and be like, don't read it.
I feel like you guys are all huge fans of all the things that you've brought to the table so far.
Well, yeah, that's because this stuff is bursting out, man. I got to talk about it.
No, I'm not debating that. I'm just saying maybe we mix it up over the next couple episodes. Include some books that you want to warn people off of. Maybe
Don Machi.
Maybe stack a couple per like let's not episodes.
I am down for that, but I got to do I Shall Seal the Heavens soon because like I finished that.
Hold
book
on.
Pretty seriously.
Could we call those episodes "Treading the Path of Hell"?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, for sure. Treading the Path of Heaven, Treading the Path of Hell.
Oh my God. I've read so much bad. Lollibaba. Oh, it's so bad.
It sounds amazing.
It's so bad.
I want to know.
Oh,
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming to listen to us for another week. Please, if you're enjoying the show, tell your friends about us. Give us a subscription on iTunes.
What are we doing? Are we doing Korean or Japanese next episode?
I thought we were doing.
Yeah, we were doing a
Soul Station
Soul Station's Necromancer. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's one of my favorites. It's so good.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's another one that I actually haven't touched. So.
Nice. Okay. Well, it sounds like it'll be an adventure for all of us.
And this one's short.
How short are we talking?
It's only at 160 chapters right now.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll read that.
It's a very, very long chapter. I actually don't know.
You just said
I
you
read the prologue.
All right, guys, and we'll be back at you with Soul Station Necromancer. Is there anything you want to talk about, Bill?
Stay tuned for more information about all of our upcoming podcasts.
Tiger Rollercoaster Productions. Tigers are scary. You try to get off.